coming!
Chosen one!
I'm coming!
Hello there programs, it's Ruza here and welcome back to another episode of What the FX. This week we're going to be talking about the karate mashup masterpiece that is Kung Pao. Okay, so the essential special effects behind Kung Pao is Steve Oderkerk actually inserting himself into an old school martial arts film. So how exactly does he do that? Let's take a look. There are two types of keying materials. That is a blue screen and a green screen. So what is the difference here and why did Kung Pao happen to use a blue screen, as you can see from some of these shots? This movie does not take itself seriously. So there may be some incredibly ridiculous scenes in this movie, like
Leap that wall if you're so great. Big deal. Up and over!
but there are still some cool effects in here. And like I mentioned before, the difference between a blue screen and a green screen. So as you can see, Kung Pao does a lot of their compositing on a blue screen. If you shoot on the green screen and you key out that color, there's far less noise produced by a green screen. But Kung Pao uses a blue screen, and I'll tell you why. Is because not only is it easier to grade the footage, we'll get to that, but it also produces less color spill. What I mean by color spill is when you light a green screen and you're using specific camera techniques, that can actually illuminate a green around a subject or character, or a color spill, or a light wrap as some people might call it. And you might get this green hue that can be quite difficult to remove if you don't light and shoot your scene correctly. With the blue screen, you don't get that effect as harshly as you would if you shot on a green screen.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts!
So I don't know if you guys caught my episode last week where we talked about green screens and Jason Momoa. You can check that video out here. That's what Kung Pao does really well. They use a blue screen and they use some really talented compositors to actually get old school footage to blend in with Steve inserting himself into that footage. This is a very good definition of why you would use a blue screen as opposed to a green screen. Now, I could sit here for 3 hours and talk about the lines of the movies, but I'm here to break down the special effects.
Stay and live a life here with me.
They've 3D generated a cow, which actually still stands the test of time. A lot of you may say, oh, but it's not that good. Think about 18 years ago, okay? They did this 18 years ago, and when I look at it critically, it's still pretty cool. It still looks pretty cool, and I think that's a good feat. To be able to make your effect last that long and still look pretty rad, which is just an awesome thing. Also, I'm not sure if you've caught any of other Steve Oderkerk's movies, but he's also done a series called Thumb Wars, where he projects faces onto thumbs and then acts out the Star Wars universe. It's whack, but it's really, really cool. And that's what he does with his tongue in this movie. It's a superhero called Tonguey. This is what he's done. He's composited someone's face, eyes, and mouth onto his tongue. It looks absolutely ludicrous, but the compositing is done so well. Okay, so there's one other really important factor here in Kung Pao, and that is color grading. So essentially, what color grading really is, if you've watched a Marvel movie or a detective film, these looks and styles and feels are actually not natural. It's a very complex and clever way of emoting specific responses from an audience by stylizing the whole color scheme behind the film. And that's what color grading essentially is. It's tweaking specific settings on your raw footage, like contrast, vibrance, hue, settings, a whole bunch of augments that you can make to your footage to kind of give it a specific style and look. And that's what Kung Pao does so well. They've got this old footage and it looks a specific way. So they had to then color grade and make sure it fitted so that when Steve could insert himself into the footage, it would still look like it was part of the original. And as you can see, these guys were immensely talented at color grading and compositing from Steve to the old footage, which I really, really respect. Because telling you now, color grading is an entire art in its own, which I could spend 5 hours talking about, probably even more. Thank you so much for watching this episode of What the FX, guys. Please make a comment below on what you would like me to break down. I'm getting a lot of 1917, a bit of Star Wars, Dark Crystal, Lord of the Rings. There's so much on my list at the moment. I'm going to get to it all. Make your comment below. Let me know what you want to see, guys. It's Ruza here. I will catch you on the next level. Ha! You still here? So while you're clicking that subscribe button, hopefully, I'm going to just do a bit of a shout out to Riza and Mohammed. That one's for you guys. And for the one and only Caleb Jensen, who does reviews on YouTube. His channel's just hit 1K. Congratulations, bud. And I want you guys to go and check him out. He's really, really awesome. Such a humble human being and such a genuine, nice guy. Caleb, you rock. Thank you so much for all the help you've given me. I really appreciate it, bud. Catch you guys later.